A job is what you're paid to do. Release your brilliance is what you're made to do. So the question that you have, like I had, is where did this genius or brilliance go? It didn't go anywhere, but it became buried by a society that says, color within the lines, sit down, give it back, you can't do that. And the more you continue to hear what you can't do, where you can't go, and who you can't become, there is a neurological path that is created in the brain that causes individuals to shut down. So what happens is you have this potential, this insight, this genius. You love what you do, but I have discovered over the last few years in working with almost 1,000 organizations on 6 continents is that brilliance is released in an environment where you are celebrated rather than tolerated. I was talking with a friend of mine in the real estate industry, and I said to her, what are you doing to connect? And she said that she showed a man a house not too long ago. He said, I want to buy this house. And she said, okay, great. Let's go ahead and do the closing. And when it came time to do that, he called and said, I want to walk through the house one more time. So she said, okay. He goes and walks through the house, and then he says, I can't buy the house. And she says, why can't you buy the house? He said, because the pelicans are gone. She said, what do you mean the pelicans are gone? She said, there was a pelican here, and it's gone. And she found out that the people that owned the house before had taken the pelican with them. And she said, why is this so important to you? And he said, when I was growing up, I used to go to my grandfather's house. And my grandfather had a statue of pelicans all over the house. And when I walked into this house and I saw that pelican, it was a sign from my grandfather that it would be okay for me to buy the house because he had left me an inheritance for my first house. And she said, wait right here. And it just happened, just serendipitously, to be an antique shop that sold antique pelicans not far. So she went and she bought one, and she brought one back to him, and she said, now that we have a pelican, can we close the house? And he said, absolutely. She realized in that moment that it wasn't so much about the house. It was about the connection and what the house meant to him. If you're taking notes, or if you have your smartphone, I would like for you to write down the following numbers. Please, ma'am, please, sir. Please write down 15-7-30-90. And here's why I want you to write these numbers down. I believe the secret to releasing brilliance is hidden in your daily routine. You don't decide the future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide the future. Well, I got there at 6:45 a.m. and I did something that I'm not proud of. I did something that I don't advise people to do. I noticed that there were name cards on the table where everybody was supposed to be sitting, and my name card wasn't next to the president. So, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Do a little switcheroo. So sure enough, 7:30 comes, I'm sitting next to the most powerful man at Disney at the time. His name was Al Weiss. And I had a burning question to ask Al. I said, so Al, what do I need to do to get ahead here at Disney? And he said to me, you need to know who you are, and you need to know why you're here. And I was really blown away by some of the feedback that I received, namely from a young lady by the name of Kim McCombie. Kim said something to me that was very interesting. She said, as I think about getting better, I focus on what can I do today to make a profound difference in the life of someone that will so impact them that they will make the operation better. Brad Estes, when I asked him the same question, Brad is from Tennessee, and he said, I began to think about how do we focus on what's most important that day. And when Brad said that, the first thing I thought about is that in the midst of change, by the way, change is your friend, not your foe. Change is a brilliant opportunity to grow. Change or be changed by change. Am I busy or am I effective? So when Brad talked about focus, it took me back to this amazing story of a teacher who was working with a couple of his students in the art of archery. And he took them out into a field and he set up a wooden bird as a target, and he wanted them to shoot their arrows and hit the eye of the bird. So he said to the first student, "What do you see?" And the student said, "I see the sky, I see the trees, I see the branches, I see the leaves, I see the bird, and I see its eye." And the teacher said, "Thank you very much. You wait right here." He said to the second student, "What do you see?" And he said, "I see the eye of the bird." And the teacher said, "Shoot." And he released his arrow, and it flew straight and hit the eye of the bird. Until you focus, you cannot hit the target. We call ourselves the keepers of talent. And I think what's very interesting when we look at Gallup's research that says only 13% of people are engaged in 142 countries. 63% are not engaged, and 24% are actively disengaged, looking for ways to sabotage the organization and to ruin its reputation. Ladies, the two problems you have with us men is we don't talk and we don't listen. And when we talk about ourselves, and when we listen, we have selective hearing. Somebody say, "I got to clap on that. That was good." But ladies, I think there's a room for all of us to become better listeners. Now, here's what I want you to think. The same letters that spell the word listen spell the word silent. What I realize is Disney never sent me out to the park to sweep the streets. They sent me out to the park to connect with a family that had probably saved 3 to 5 years of their discretionary income to come to Disney for maybe once in their lifetime. And a family of 4 in a 7-day stay on average would spend $10,000. So the reason it took Disney 2 years to hire me, 10 interviews, and a 10-page psychological analysis is they understood that you hire for attitude, you train for success, but training doesn't fix what HR doesn't catch.